السلام عليكم. من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا هب لنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. We will continue inshallah to study or to learn something in the teachings of the Quran through narrating the prophetic example of Abraham. So in these conditions, Abraham's conditions, how we find ourselves in these conditions. So we know that it is not a general trend in the classical tafsir, but there are some tafsirs where every figure told in the Quran must be related to the reader directly to himself. So find yourself in it. And alhamdulillah, that some people, not very famous among some parts of the world, but doesn't matter, we are aware of it. Some people made sense of it. So here is the story, this side of the story now, Abraham and his relationship with his parents, especially the main figure, the father. Bismillah. Welcome you. Let's welcome you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذ قال لأبيه يا أبت لم تعبد ما لا يسمع ولا يبصر ولا يغني عنك شيئا.
Now, the translation. Anybody else for a change? No? Where is the volunteer? Yes. Loudly.
Behold, he said to his father, O my father, why worship that which hears you not and sees not and can profit you nothing?
Yeah, it's very clear, isn't it? It's very clear. He said to his father, so who is your father? You will find out who your father is, not necessarily your biological father. You know, who is your boss? Who is your authority? Maybe your wife, maybe your husband, maybe your friend, or maybe the authority. Who is your authority? So if the authority, maybe the civilization, mostly the civilization, the society, the political authority, anything, maybe financial authority. So if they ask you to follow them, to follow their worldview, their understanding, what our response will be to them, exactly, to his father, very clear, very simple. We emphasized on the importance of speaking is a very clear language. Now the Quran describes itself as a clear language. Mubin. Kitabun Mubin. Obvious to understand. Why? Why the Quran should be clear for us by definition, not as a compulsory duty on the side of the Quran of God. We don't speak and we don't teach, we don't reason from God's side. In principle, it is impossible. If I speculate on it, it will be just a speculation. So we have to be careful on this side, that I have to look at this from my side. As far as I am concerned, I am in this world. This world gives a lot of glimpses, news, points to something, they call it other indicative. What does it mean, other indicative? What do you understand from other indicative? Not self-referential. A tree doesn't say, look at me. Tree says, when you look at me, I bring you some news. I am taking your attention to something else than me. Look at me, read me, study me, and I'm showing you something. You say, you look at a tree, or you look at an animal, a baby, or another human being, or another creature. But it is meaningful. It is wise in its existence. And it cannot be meaningful by itself. It cannot be wise by itself. You are a human being. If you can say that my typical and almost historical conventional example, the book. The book is a very great example. Never forget the example of the book. Never. Because it combines everything in it. You know, in this example, it's so powerful. Seriously think about it. Book, there's the paper and some chemical things on it, but it has meaning. Yeah? The universe is a book. It's just matter. It is just particles. But out of particles, it is meaningful. Can any mind ever attribute the meaning that any human being can extract from it? No one said that I read it and it means nothing. No one said that. The most optimal, most an arrogant atheist cannot say that I read a book and it is not meaningful. You may agree, you may not agree, but it's not meaningful. No one can say this. No one. But what is the meaning? They should explain it. And the book says, in itself, points to something else other indicative, which means points to something other than itself. The universe always points to something other than itself. Like the book. Book says, I am meaningful and my particles cannot be the source of the meaning you are reading in me. Impossible. So what does it mean? There must be a conscious being who is conveying his meaning through these shapes, forms of the particles, chemical substances. So when you look at it, you say, well, there's a meaning. But this example is just a metaphor that any creature in the world is like a book. It has qualities, and these qualities are other indicative. They say, look, the particles say, I cannot be the source of what I am pointing to, because the particles cannot be. But if someone says, maybe particles, yeah, can you say that maybe the substance ink is the source of the meaning that I extract from it. Can you say that? No. Why? Because you know that it is written by a conscious being. But if you say, if you decide, and definitely decide, say, there is no author in this book, what are you going to do? Block the possibility that there is an author apart from the book itself. Block it. What are you are bound to. You are left only with one option, like this scientific explanation. It means scientism makes the explanation, not the method itself. The person interprets it, says this happens because of the relationship in the particles of the ink, but we have not found out yet, but we will find out. Because we know all the qualities of the substance now, but we only couldn't understand why the electrons of the same atom, even they are separated from each other, they still act together. It seems to be they know each other, they are conscious beings. That's what they claim now. So it means they are conscious beings. Like the substance of the ink. They are conscious beings, they are making the meaning together. Do you understand me? So there is something pointed to, but we don't know what something is. If I confine myself to the understanding that there is no author, I have the book and the book is the book, that's it. Then I have to say there is a meaning there, and this meaning is caused by the reactions, interactions of the particles themselves. That's what they say. If you can really make sense of this understanding, you can buy into it, it is free. But it costs you a lot, be careful. Your life becomes meaningless. So then you become a meaningless person. But you have to think about it. If you don't think, it means really if you don't go over and over again, days and nights and weeks and months about the meaning of your life, you are comfortable, very comfortable. You think you are comfortable, but blind. You don't know where you are going. It's not human. It is just cheating yourself. So the universe is like that, other indicative. All the meaning, for example, everything is useful. Everything is purposeful. Everything contributes to the rest of the other things working in harmony together. You cannot find one particle which exists and functions alone in the universe, independent of other things. Impossible. Everything is interrelated and made a grift, or whatever they say, grid, complicated. I don't know the other scientific words for it. If you know, somebody can tell me. Very much interlocked within each other, interwoven. You cannot take one thing out of it. It is related to the rest of it. Which kind of accident it is? Nothing acts for a moment independently. For a moment independently. I'm going to act like this. Not necessarily that we should attribute consciousness to this thing. You cannot see any moment in the physical world which is happening, not interconnected, within the interconnectedness of the whole universe. Impossible. What do you say? I don't know. There is something mysterious. Yeah? There is as if it looks like a cosmic mystery everywhere. Like a ghost, we don't know. Definitely, we should be wondering what's going on as human beings, and question it. Don't say that we believe in God. That is the most stupid way of solving the problem. It's really just forgetting about your reality. It means you don't want to think about it. You don't want to make it real for yourself. Just throw the burden out of your shoulder and say, I'm free. I believe in God. God created everything, finished. So I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. Carry on your tradition and fall into the trap of your community tradition. And follow that. MashaAllah, we are learning the Quran. I'm taking a Tajweed course now. Now I have to pronounce the Quran in the better way. Why? Because it's our sacred book. Why? Because we are Muslims. Why? Because we are Muslims. Why are we Muslims? We believe in God. Why? We believe in God. In Islam, we have to believe in God. Otherwise, we will be unbeliever, kafir. Which is just meaningless rhetoric. So, think about it. Think. What does it mean for me? If someone doesn't really give herself into this subject, cannot be a believer. Yes, a follower of a tradition, I understand. Yeah, you can be a follower of any tradition. Don't worry about it. But you have to concentrate on it. You've got to question it. Don't take it for granted. Anything which is taken for granted is not a belief. Imitation is not a belief. Following your ancestors' path. So when you question it, you come to your reality. You realize now it becomes your problem, and if you find the answer, it becomes your answer now. Where you know where you stand now. So the universe is like this, other indicative. Universe is other indicative. You understand this? But we don't know where or to what they are indicating. We don't know. So we need a clear, understandable explanation. Clear, understandable, mubin explanation. Mubin explanation. Do you understand? Which is for human being verbal explanation. Tell me what really is, so that I understand. If there was no verbal, clear, this is the Quranic verse, mubin, it means that this is the description of the Quran, means you are puzzled. You are mesmerized with the complexity and meaningfulness of this universe, but you have no clue what they mean to you. They are so meaningful, like looking at a book, finding it meaningful, you have no idea that there is a man and a woman is the author and organizer of this book. Or he or she gave the shape to the letters to convey her message to you. But book is there, we are in it. Don't forget that we are in the book, the universe. We cannot go out of it. We don't know the author. We have no clue about the essence of the author. Be careful. Now the book is the author, but we know that's just an analogy. Book and the author, we know it. Now, the universe is a book. What is the author? Now, we are looking for a source of it. We are looking for a source of it. You understand? We are looking for the source of the book of the universe. They are indicating to, we have no clue whatsoever about the nature of the author being a human being, using the allegory. Yeah, using the allegory. One of them is a paper and some ink. The other one, in reality, the universe, combination of complexes of particles, and the author in the allegory is the man. Has nothing to do with the nature of the book. And especially what is transferred through the book is knowledge. Knowledge is not a physical thing at all. So that we can describe it in terms of the substance of this universe, the book of the universe. Nothing to do with it. And the author is transferring his knowledge, his abilities, his attributes, his qualities through the book to your intelligence. You read it, but you have no clue of the reality, essence of the reality of the knowledge, wisdom, power, will of this author of the universe. He said, man, it is impossible to imagine. There is no man in the book. There is no this author in the book at all. But his qualities are there. That's how we should use the analogy. So this shows that it is coming from somewhere else. This book is the other indicative. It means indicating to something other than itself. The book is openly declaring that the physical substance of the book, everything there, declaring that I cannot never ever be the source of meaning that you are extracting from me. Impossible. No one can claim that. No human being, no human capacity can claim that. The universe says, I can never ever be the source of the qualities you are seeing in me. But these qualities exist. So human beings are now in agony of perplexity, agony of not solving the problem, the riddle, and you have to suffer. It means you have to struggle. You have to see the pain. If you don't see the pain of meaninglessness, don't come to this halaqah or this discussion, this class, or don't read the Quran. Meaningless. You have to feel the pain in you, helplessness. I cannot find the answer in the universe at all. What is the meaning of being existed, being created or existed, don't say created, existed in this universe? Why do I exist in this universe? My qualities force me to look for the other author, completely different nature of this universe, and I have no clue about it. Only then you look for the guidance from the author. speaking to you clearly, saying, this book of the universe has an author, mubin explanation. That's what the Quran is being mubin means. No, it is Arabic, lughat, grammar-wise is consistent, is irrelevant at this stage. Later on, when you study, it makes some relevance, but not at this stage. To confirm that I need an explanation for my painful questions, to get an answer so that I can clearly understand. There is an author, and this author is not of the nature of this book, and consciously giving existence to it and transferring meaning to you. It means this and this and this to you, speaking with human language that you can understand. Mubin. So we have to speak to people with a mubin explanation that they can understand. Don't make anything difficult, complicated. Never use technical words. Never use the authority of somebody whose name is authority and famous. No, who are you, man? Can you think as much as this great scholar who wrote 150 books? So we have to imitate. That's not the answer. Look at the beautiful example we learn from the Quran. Speaking to his father. What does he say? My father, why worship that which hears not? Doesn't mean. Can matter hear you? That which hears not and sees not. Can matter see you? Can matter itself communicate with you? Speak clearly. Can answer you? Do you think the particles of the fruit or vegetable or food you ate today, or the particles of your beloved friend or wife and husband or children know you? Can they? Clear, speak clearly, and can profit you nothing by themselves, within themselves. Particles are dumb, like in the analogy, substance, the particles of the substance of ink and paper in the book. They cannot be the source of the meaning. Speak to them clearly. Clearly. Don't use complicated language. Don't use technical words. That's why in the Quran there is no technical explanation.
Dr. Murmur, many people can live their entire lives and they're satisfied with matter, with just enjoying things in life, material things, or their relationships, or their jobs, and they seem happy.
I don't know. Ask them. Ask them if they are happy. They play the role of happiness. Yeah, speak to them. Let's talk about the future of your life. If you talk about how to get promotion in their profession, they will talk to you. They will take even special courses. If you say after the promotion, you say retirement program and world tour. After the tour, what they will do, they are happy that I'm going to die. Everything is dying. What is the meaning of your life? But like a person who dumped himself, like a person who takes drugs and feels in an imaginary world, but what they do, they become dependent on the drugs. They cannot stand even one day without taking the drugs. That's why they kill people, each other in Manhattan. Because they kill each other to protect their marketplace, but because they know that there are people who are completely dependent of the clients, are completely dependent of the drugs. They cannot do it without it. Then the others keep cheating themselves, not blinding themselves for the future. They have no future project for themselves, for their own existence. What they do, they condition themselves like those people condition themselves with, I am a Muslim, I'm doing my religious duties, I am saved. The same thing, it's another drug. It's like another kind of drug. Just keeping themselves busy, not really thinking, preventing themselves, justifying themselves for their being lazy in using their human capacities, questioning their realities. They both side, extreme sides. They are just using different kinds of drugs. One of them, religious drugs. The other one is ignorance drugs. Don't think. Just try to entertain yourself right now, today. That's why they cannot have future projects. This kind of people don't have future projects. If you start speaking about the future, they get frightened. We don't know other people, how they feel. I am a human being. I can never, ever live in this way. Impossible. I know everything is changing. Everything is really transferring some message and going, transferring some message and leaving me alone, telling me that you will leave this world, this type of existence as well. But you listen to yourself. You want to have an eternal, happy, complete felicity in your future. Why not? I want this. But somebody may say, no, it is just an imagination. Even imagination, it exists. Where did it come from? It doesn't exist by itself because of the activities of the particles. There is no source within the particles which will give birth to imagination. Don't cheat yourself to the imagination. It is real human senses. It is you. What makes you human being is not your body, your stomach. This is animal. This is not human. We have to make this separation. Every moment we have to remind ourselves, we are not animals. We are humans. We have to listen to our human side. Animal side is automatic. Every animal takes care of his or her child carefully, automatically. Every human being takes care of their life necessities automatically. You don't have to be a believer in order to take care of your baby or child. Maybe atheists are more realistic in their rearing up or raising their children. But the religious people just, while they are raising, they indoctrinate them, make their mind blind as well. Imitation. Teach them imitation. It's worse. But everybody has that. You don't have to be a believer. in God in order to take care of your life necessities. What makes you a human being is definitely beyond this. What is that? Your human queries, your human investigations must be answered. We don't want to go into that field. We think that we are taking care of what do you do? I am really preparing myself for life. I'm studying, my degree is guaranteed, and I'm trying to put my GPA as high as possible to be successful, to be really, to have a bright future, get a good job. That is animalistic. It has no human quality. This animal, taking care of life necessities. Be careful. If someone says, I'm taking care of my life necessities, I am preparing myself for a family life so that I may have some children, I am preparing myself for their future, this is animal. The real human is the one who takes care of his or her real future. What will happen after I die? Why this universe is such that everything dies. We come here, mature up, grow, and die. Everything. Not only human beings, all beings, even inanimate beings die. We know that galaxies die. Everything dies. We know that whole universe is made with the nature to die, with the reality to die. We know that. Why? We question. Because this is directly related to me. I'm going to die as well. Not necessarily that I don't care. I will die. No. Why this universe has been ordered or put in a form that death, transience, temporariness is in its real nature. Why? Why? We never asked this question. I am here on earth to die. What's wrong with the one who organized this universe? Make me grow and make me die. What's wrong? Because everything seems to be perfectly, harmoniously working, but this death, this transience, doesn't make sense itself. What I have to do, I have to question, bring this question to my own reality and ask the question, what am I doing here? Really? No, I have to take care of my religious duties. Escapism, escaping from reflections, concentrating on your reality. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't do your religious duties. Do it, but never ignore your human reality. Question. Yes, I am doing this, but for what? Why? Don't take anything for granted. So, look at the universe. Do they have any quality to hear you? Do they have any quality to see you and act accordingly? So the trees are seeing you and saying that, oh, these poor guys need fruit, so I have to prepare. These poor guys need carbon dioxide, some oxygen, so I have to really clean the atmosphere. Do they? Show me a sign that this comes from the particle itself. Anything. The particles can be the source of the actions they are doing, the meaningful actions they are doing. Show me. Like the bricks of the building, typical example. Bricks of the building. They say the building is made up of bricks. So bricks are making the building. Welcome to the new world. But a bright understanding. This is absolutely nonsense. It is organized by some conscious being, deliberately put them. Bricks have no choice, no knowledge. They don't hear, they don't think, they don't see, they don't give you any benefit by themselves. If you put a brick here, they will be there for millions of years. They cannot move even once. Even once. The accidents happen. Okay, out of 1 billion, 1 trillion, 1 quadrillion, have you ever seen any coal miner came out of an iPhone, accidentally happened to be there in the coal mining? How many years, hundreds of years, people are mining it? Accidentally, there will be something other than the coal. Nothing. Why? There's no accident. Everything's perfectly organized. So we are not accidentally happening conscious beings in the coal mining. Oh, I found a baby here, or I found a child here, or a man here. Accidentally grown, evolved, developed, whatever. But it cannot make sense.
Another question that comes up is, so we come to this world, we're given existence, and then eventually we die. And then in between, we're provided with multiple sources that give us feelings of satisfaction, and we observe things like beauty. And so I'm just really struggling with this right now, and I'm trying to understand why.
They are all other indicatives. Like you say, well, I'm trying to entertain myself with the book. You read the book, they are meaningful, but saying that this meaning comes from the particles and substances, particles of the substance of the book. But this book is other indicative. This book doesn't know you, that you understand, you are an intelligent being. The substance of this book cannot see you, cannot speak to you, cannot convey anything to you. They are just blind, dumb particles, like bricks of the building. Just make sure within yourself that these are other indicatives. It means they are calling and calling you, speaking to you that, look, we cannot be the source of the meanings we are transferring to you. Look for the meaning. So that's why we need a verbal, mubin, clear, understandable explanation from the maker of the book. I am the author. I am a human being. You cannot find me in the book, man. I am the author of it. Everything you read in the book points to my existence and my intention, my purpose, speaking to you, conveying your message in every, not letters, not sentence, not letter, every shape of the letter. Even a dot is there to convey you a message from my knowledge, from my purpose. Learn it. So get in contact with me through the book. Identify yourself, your understanding capacity with the knowledge of the author. That is the methodologically foundation of our relationship with God. Without reading the book, you cannot make your human qualities, human expectations, communicating with the author of the book if there is no book. But the presence of the book is not enough. You have to question the book. Can you be the source of the message you are carrying to me? Question the book always. This cannot happen by itself. Definitely there is something which we call author, that conveying his knowledge, speaking to my intelligence that we can communicate. Now our human side is continuously in communication with the author of the book of the universe. Our human side. So all human qualities are connected to the, if you like, knowledge, but not only the knowledge, but knowledge of the author of the book of the universe. So we are communicating with him continuously, but it needs consciousness. It needs awareness. It needs investigation. To me, it is exploited in the Christian theology. That's why I'm hesitant to use. We have to suffer means struggle. Quran doesn't use suffering. Quran uses jihad, struggle. You have to strive for getting the meaning in the book or from the book and communicating with the author of the book through your understanding capacity receptacles gets the meaning, but the book becomes now only a means, only a tool. You communicate with the author if you use your human qualities. That is called human consciousness, awareness of your human reality. I can say this, and you can take, in a certain proportion, apply it to yourself. We are not aware, or we don't live in this world with the awareness of our humanity. We live like animals. We think of our life, sustenance of our life, necessities of our life, body, not human side. That's why we cannot communicate with the author of the book of the universe. Because I'm not using the tools, the detectors, that they will really get the message from the author. I don't use it. Like the TV is there, you close your eyes, you close your ear, TV is really transferring the what do they do? Broadcasting. Yeah? Transferring the broadcasting. You hear nothing, you see nothing. Why? It is broadcasting. Why? Because you close your humanity. Because you live in this world like an animal. Now, I'm not saying you. And if we live in this world like animals, taking care of our animal life, only alive, desires, eating and preparing myself food, on shelter, and taking care of my children. This kind of things like animals do. If you don't look for the meaning, it means your eyes are closed, your ear is closed, broadcasting is going on there, and I have no communication with the author of the book of the universe, even author of the book of my own being. I am not aware of myself. Really, in this sense, we have to take the pain of reflection. We have to take the pain of reflection. What is going on in my reality? What am I doing? Is it worth the life I am leading? Is worth living as a human being? Yes, as an animal, yes, it is worth it. As a human being, it's a big question. It's a big question. If you dare, ask yourself, and when you go home, what am I doing to communicate with the author of my book of my being, the author of the book of this universe? Question. If you dare, you will find yourself in a vacuum. That's my claim. Do it. Then you will see. All your claim for religiosity fall apart. Just doing it in order to avoid from your reality. It's another drug. Okay. Speak to yourself, speak to others, that don't lead your life as a human being blindly. Question your reality. Even you may not, don't bother. Accept your reality. Face your reality. Don't be afraid of encountering with your reality. Look, I'm not living as a human being. That's perfect. Just to realize, just to admit it. That is the first and the most important conclusion. I'm not living in this world as a human being. I'm not communicating with my maker. I admit that. It is very disturbing. It is an agony of my death of my animal side. They start shaking. Are you going to leave me alone? Aren't you going to take care of me? Yeah, that's how the description of the Quran concerning the life of this world, which is the term used in the Quran, Hayat Dunya. Look at them, Hayat Dunya. Now, look at the Quran, how it treats with the life of this world. It means, as far as human beings are concerned, human-animal life. How it treats it. How does it speak openly, clearly, mubinly? Look, when you are doing or following a life pattern, you will be just playing with games, toys. No reality at all. No reality. So watch out. Think, how can you use your humanity to be in contact, continuous in contact with the Creator through reading the book, not imagination, through reading the book, using every element in your life, and seeing the meaning manifested in their existence and transferred to your consciousness so that you can really perceive the communication between you and your author? Hard. I know it's hard. I know it is hard, but you have to try at least 1 minute a day. And then 2 minutes, hopefully. And then 3 minutes. Yeah, don't be very idealistic. I'm going to think about my reality one night, whole day. This is the Laylatul Qadr, the night of power. It is just a made up story. You cannot do it. If you are not used to reflecting on your reality for 1 minute, how can you do it one night? It is impossible. You have to get used to it. Yeah.
Can you please give us an example of communication and receiving communication and experiencing meaning?
So, experiencing meaning, did you say?
Yes.
Okay. Very simple. Nothing complicated at all. Everything brings you news from its author. Everything. Just don't lose yourself in the thing. That's it. So simple. Have you ever seen anybody reading the book and saying, this paper and ink are telling me this? They get the meaning, but when because they are used to, they take it for granted that, it is from the author, but they don't really think that I am communicating with the mind of the author. I'm communicating with the mind of the author. The book is just a means, a vehicle. It is just a vessel. Now you have to establish an empathy between you and the author. So when you get the meaning, if this meaning is really related to yourself, you start being aware of its existence, plus start loving his knowledge, that it is giving you guidance, teaching you something. And then a desire starts growing in you. I have to see this author. I have to be with this author. That is, in the Quranic terminology, paradise. Now, that's paradise. If we don't experience this, if we don't really feel, if we don't really yearn for being together with the author of my own creator, otherwise my life will be meaningless and impossible to live like that. I don't know what are you going to experience in paradise. A man comes to you and says, I am the author of such and such book you never read. What do you do? So what? Okay, good for you. Did you make a lot of money out of it? Yeah? Was it the bestseller? Yeah? That's it. But if you read the book, benefit, and really feel within yourself the meaning, and if you really have a loving relationship with the meaning, being conscious that this meaning is transferred to you by the author, you don't know whether it's a man or woman or young or old or whatever, doesn't matter. The essence of the author is not important. But if you really yearn this author, I want to be with this author. He gives me the so meaningful things that my life becomes really meaningful. You yearn for paradise. As soon as you are there, right we are. That was I was expecting. And everything starts making sense to you. Otherwise, a person is introduced here saying that he is the author of such and such book, and you never read it, You never benefit from it. You never get any excitement from it. You look at the man and say, he's, I think, 65 years old. And go. That's it. Or man or woman, whatever. But it doesn't have anything to do with you. So let's say we want to see and be with the God. Have you read? Have you communicated with him? Did you get really excited about his ideas that he transferred to you and it made sense to you, and you relate yourself to these ideas, saying that, oh, these are the ideas I really needed? And then if they say you love the ideas of a book, and be conscious that the author, when you see if someone says the author of such and such book is going to have a meeting with his authors, with his readers in IC, what do you do? If you really love, what do you do? You really want to be and shake hands. That is called the love of God. That is called in the if you like, Islamic heritage. Yeah, mushahadatullah. Mushahadatullah. Real being with the God together. That is called. You can really get the taste. You want to take a picture with them, yeah? You are not going to take a picture with God. Now, of course, this is just a metaphor. You know, if you know the author of a book, if you really love the book, if you really read and again, every time you read it, you get excited, you get delighted. What do you do with the author? You want to take a book and put it in a frame and put it there, and everybody who comes, this is the man, you know, I have been reading his book. Even with the picture, you are proud of it. That is called living in the presence of God. That's the terminology is developed in the Muslim literature as hudur, being in the presence. Otherwise, don't be cheated with rhetoric. God is love. I really laugh at it. What do you mean? God is love. What do you do with it? How do you know? Have you communicated with it? Question. Or comment.
Could it be said then that love is proportionate to apprehension?
Yeah. Of course, your awareness. Your awareness. If you miss somebody who really has been very kind to you and guided you in many senses, etc., etc., you know, it depends on if you are aware of his being good to you, how to say kindness to you, 10%, you enjoy 10% being with him or her. 99%, you don't want to live. And your life becomes eternal in paradise. If you are aware of. Otherwise, I don't know what does it mean going to paradise. It's just, don't take it in a mystery. Don't turn the religious figures into mystery. And I don't know, they tell me this. That's how it is described. Okay. All right. Somebody. Okay, carry on reading.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أبت إني قد جاءني من العلم ما لم يأتك فاتبعني أهدك صراطا سويا.
Yeah. The translation.
O my father, to me has come knowledge which has not reached you. So follow me. I will guide you to a way that is even and straight.
Siratan Sawiyya. Okay. We can understand this, that I have received traditionally and conventionally, I have received the message. But in the story of Abraham, we have no sign thus far that he has received revelation. What he did is, from his own initiation, he questioned, he realized that other than the creator, the owner of this universe, who is with the language which is described, Fatir samawati wal ard, the one who originated the universe, and he understood that other than the one who gave existence to the heavens and the earth, no one can be the source of any quality that I am seeing in the book of the universe. So we have to understand here, has come knowledge which has not reached you. You have not gone beyond what you are seeing, the things themselves, not what they indicate to you, what the meaning they transfer to you. You have never read it. But I have read it. I have read it. I know that that means something, and it communicate. I can communicate with the originator of this universe and relate it to my human qualities, and it makes sense to me. It is consistent. That's why we talked about it earlier on. We have to share with the people only what we have experienced in our life, not transferred information. Never ever speak about especially religion by narrations. This is a very important principle. Not many people are aware of its importance. With narrations, in the book it says so, the prophet said so. How did you get all this? These are narrations. How they really resonated in you, how you experience it within your own being. Just transfer the information like a professor in the class. He learns from his teacher and tells to his students in the class, and as soon as the class ends, he goes to his room and starts drinking his coffee, or tea, or I don't know, lunch or snacks. It has nothing to do with his reality. He just accomplished his mission there as a professor, transferring. But have you ever seen anybody who has really experienced something within himself and get excited with it? It is his property now. It is his property now, and sharing his own experience with you without giving any reference to any outside source. That's how I understand my existence. That is how I see my reality. That is how it makes sense for me. Don't give reference to others. In the Quran, it says so. What did you make out of it? Did it resonate in your existence, in your being? What did you make out of it? What did you get out of it? How it really made sense to you. So share your conclusion. Don't be a retailer, buying from the wholesale store and selling others, never eating themselves, and make money out of it. I call them profit maker capitalists. Taking from the book, telling it to others, and not experiencing in themselves. And what is expected? You have to share what made sense to you, resonated in your life. You can only tell to others the repercussions of the ideas from yourself, from your own chest, from your own mind, from your own experience. But this is very difficult. Have you ever seen anybody who speaks about religion without giving reference? Sorry, have you? Never? There's something wrong going on. Methodologically, we are way, way away from reality. Although the Mubin, clear book in our hands, even while we are reading the book, clear book, we don't communicate with its author. We say, it's God's word. Now I am reading the book, no communication with God, because we have no knowledge of God. So this imitation, cultural, traditional understanding of life, not the tradition is done, the prophets teaching, Quranic teaching. No, I don't mean that. When we use the tradition with capital T, no. I use tradition in the common language. You found it, you follow it. It means your custom, customary life, your family life. Your parents are Muslim, you are Muslim, you carry on Islamic traditions, applications of some things, do something because you feel obliged to do. That's your religious requirements. That's what we know. Unfortunately, that's reality. So speak from your own conclusion, from yourself. It must come from you. So first, to me has come knowledge. I have received this. That is my conclusion. Yeah, which hasn't reached you. You are not aware of the meaning of this life, this world. You are just looking at the thing itself. You just eat the orange or the food, or I don't know, you breathe the air molecule, but you don't know what they mean to you. No, you are not aware of it. You're living like an animal. That's why, which has not come to you. It means I have received, it never means that I have received the revelation and you are not a prophet, you haven't received it. It's ridiculous. It's meaningless. The father will say, what do you mean by you have received the special speech of God, and I haven't received it. So you are responsible for it. I haven't, because I haven't received it. Meaningless. Only if it makes sense to you, then that is yours. So don't speak with narration. Speak to me with your own conclusions. What you have made out of whatever you learned and how it resonated within you. Come to me, say, look, as far as I understand, as far as the knowledge I have, the meaning of existence is this, the meaning of life is this, the nature of this universe is this. So the purpose of my being is this. That's how am I expected to use my human qualities? How am I expected to communicate with my author? That's what my conclusion. That's what we have reached you as a knowledge. So these are important principles in anything in life, actually, especially reading the Quran, any subject related to religion. If we don't pay attention to these principles, you just follow the tradition and have a nice journey. Bye-bye. Okay, so follow me means listen to me and come on, let's work together. Look, let's go through the stages I went. I can show you. These are my human experience. You can come to me. You can work with me. I can share my experience with you. I am a human being. You are a human being too. But call to yourself. I will guide you to a way that is even and straight. You will find it easy to follow. If you want to. Come. It's beautiful. But if you narrate, then it is not the way to call people to follow me, means imitate me. And human beings that are not created with the way that they get satisfaction through imitation. Even the children, the first thing they learn, what do they say? No. No. Yeah, they say no. Wait, why? No, I'm not going to imitate you. It means, but the first when they are growing, toddlers, they say no. They love saying no. And we say, oh, Mr. No, when they are 1.5, 2, 3 years old. But afterwards, we indoctrinate them, make them imitators of ourselves, and then become dependent on the parents only. Okay. All right. This is a beautiful Abraham's, I think. We may go a little bit faster. Okay?
يا أبت لا تعبد الشيطان إن الشيطان كان للرحمن عصيا.
Yeah. So let's read it, the little translation, and try to understand without falling into the pattern of narrative custom. Okay, anybody? Somebody else? Yeah.
Oh, my Father, do not worship Satan, for Satan is the devil of the most gracious.
So I think the recording wasn't enough, was it? No. Can you articulate and yeah?
All right.
Don't be, is this for some other people? Be comfortable.
All right. Oh, my Father, do not worship Satan, for Satan is a rebel against most gracious.
Most gracious Rahman. Yeah, rebel. So what is Satan? Who is following Satan? What do you make of Satan here? What does Satan represent for you?
Falsehood.
Sorry?
Falsehood or unreal thing.
Look, the Satan is described in the Quran, the one who comes with an offer to human beings, but doesn't claim the authority of this offer, of this offer. So the Quran says, look, I offered you this, you followed, you never questioned it, whether it's real or not. So if we follow something blindly, if we follow something which doesn't make sense to us, is represented by Satan. Yeah, we call it anything wrong, anything false, anything doesn't make sense, anything that any human being cannot really approve it by using his human qualities, being consistent within his own humanity, is Satan, was from Satan. When we say, I seek refuge with God from the Satan, what we should really mean, oh, my creator, my reality of my existence. I don't want to follow anything which doesn't make sense to my humanity. So I always seek refuge with my reality that I am really convinced about. I have an originator, I have a creator, and this creator has given me existence and gave me all these qualities, and he is the one who's communicating with me through all of his work, the universe. And my human expectations all receive their answer from him. Anything false, anything doesn't match this description, this definition, I don't want to follow it, which is very human, very real. So Abraham says to his father, or any authority who claims something, most probably the father is now, to me, common culture in your own tradition. If you are from Egypt, Egyptian tradition is your culture. If you are from, I don't know, Pakistan, Pakistan culture is your tradition. If you want to get married, can you say to your father, can you tell to your tradition, I'm not going to get married according to Pakistani tradition, you are Abraham? Possible? I don't think so. I don't think so. So we are not followers of Abrahamic example, perfect example. So he says to his father, don't follow Satan. They say, you have to do this. You say, why? In our culture, this is the way we do it. There's no reason. Satan. It doesn't make sense to you. Satan. It doesn't satisfy your humanity. Satan. Just consult your humanity and see if anything doesn't make sense to you. Don't follow my father. I'm not going to follow you. I seek refuge with my real creator. And I am going to communicate with him, not with the culture, not with the civilization, not your false Satan. If you stone Satan, you are saved. With stoning Satan is described in the Quran what? La ilaha. You cannot be the one who is or who deserves to be worshipped. It means you cannot be the one who is the source of existence of any quality at all. You cannot be the one. You are reality, representing the reality. I'm not going to follow. That means I don't want to follow Satan. Otherwise, an unknown, enigmatic being, please God, I don't know whether Satans may come somewhere from the roof or I don't know, from the chimney and hurt me. So please protect me from this one. Who are you asking? God. Who's God? The creator. Where is creator? In the heavens. What is it to do with you? Nothing. It's the creator. That's it. Do you communicate with him? What? Communicate with God? Come on. I have no connection. You know, there is something there. I never read. I never communicate. I never know. And I am asking him to protect me. Meaningless. These are very important matters. These are extremely important fundamentals of your life, or my fundamentals of my life. I'm sharing with you, without which I cannot believe or do anything. I cannot believe. I cannot follow the tradition at all. Tradition is Satan. The tradition is culture, the norms, cultural norms. Yeah, not the capital T tradition. Eh? Don't misunderstand it. Some people say, are you against traditionalism? It means not to follow Quran and Sunnah. I have nothing to do with it. It means just customary life. So that is Satan for you. Otherwise, no one is going to come you and hit you or kill you or harm you. Satan doesn't do anything to you. And as an enigmatic being, enigma, something, I don't know, ghost-like thing that we don't see but comes and hits you, harms you. That's a fairy tale. Be careful. So don't worship Satan. Who worships Satan? No one. Even there are some crazy people just to rebel against religious traditions, or religious narratives. They say we are Satan worshippers. So they are just reactionaries. They are not really. They don't know what Satan is. So this one, the Satan here, within the context of the Quranic teaching, anything false, meaningless, is represented by the word Satan, meaningless, just as an alternative. The truth is here, it comes with an alternative so that gives you the opportunity to choose, to decide between two options, right and wrong. You have to say no to Satan, wrong, and say yes to the truth. If you make this, if you make up your mind like that, then Satan, you realize that Satan is a rebel against merciful God. It means prevents you from communicating with your real creator. Just distracts you. Like what, for example, while you are reflecting, thinking, studying, somebody calls you from the kitchen, say that, Fariha, can you come and help me with the something? Keeps you busy with the company, makes you a company with his ball, something like that, the same thing.
I have a quick question. So are you saying that it could also, in this example that you just gave, it's not necessarily that there's anything wrong with going to the kitchen. It's just that...
That's a problem.
No, I know,
anything false, unnecessary for your mind. Anything doesn't make sense to you.
Okay, not everything that is unnecessary for humanity is false. Eating is animalistic, but there's nothing wrong with it. But it's
eating is animalistic.
Right.
But if you just concentrate on eating and live for eating and give meaning to eating for your life and never communicate with the creator or the one who really gives this eating, provides for you this food, and never communicate with the provider of the food, but just communicate with the food itself, is definitely wrong. It must be a means. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't eat, you shouldn't have family life. But if you think that, you know, I'm taking care of my future, so we're getting a good profession so that I will make money and take care of family life, is nothing to do with your humanity. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, but it's nothing to do with your humanity. And so, for example, animals have no human qualities as far as we know. So shall we kill all animals? No. If they need food, shouldn't we give them food? No, we give them food. But it is not expected, this kind of life only is not expected from a human being. We are created as human beings to think the meaning that we extract through these vessels. Everything, the book. Everything's a book. And you read the book and get the meaning and communicate with the author.
I understand what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense approaching Satan as a symbolic term, but why is it presented as an individual entity or as a certain character in a narrative? What would be the wisdom behind that? I mean, without your commentary, for example, I don't know if I would have come to the same conclusion of what Satan represents.
That's you heard now.
But why, what would be the wisdom in it being presented as a individual character?
Because it not is individual character, because it is the name, we attribute this name to an individual character. It is your or my understanding because we don't want to think about it. Satan, everything is Satan. Everything, I don't know. We made up. It is what we made up. But within the teachings of the Quran, we understand that Satan represents something, angel represents something in the creation. Yeah, God represents something. The word God should represent something to you. So how can we say that every time Satan is explained in a page? No, you have to interpret or understand the meaning of any kind of figurative language in the Quran within the context of the Quran. What is the purpose of the Quran? We have mentioned this on various occasions that when you read the Quran, you have to have in your mind the purpose of the Quran. What is it? It is the word of my Creator. Why does it speak to me? It speaks to me in order to give me answers to my human questions. So if you don't inquire the meaning, Quran doesn't speak to you. You read the Musaf. It means a storybook. Sacred storybook. Every nation, every group of people have a sacred storybook. What is the difference? Okay. It goes on the story, but the time, I think we will feel that some people are yawning, and some people are watching. When I see that the people are looking at the iPhones and watches, I understand that it is time to stop. We have limited capacity. I hope we can think about human qualities even for 1 minute. Just now, sit now, and here and now, for 60 seconds, think what I am. Don't fall into yoga. started feeling vacuum and try to forget something. No. Be realistic. Think what your reality is for 60 seconds. Yeah. And then 1 week later, try to make it 100 seconds. 1 week later, you cannot jump. Be realistic. We are not used to. Inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. بحرمة السر